Phil, you were supposed...
Oh, no.
No.
Do it again.
Yeah. Okay,
Right.
ready?
Ready.
Got it? Conformity gate is real! Three to the left, 4 to the right. It's 9. It's coming in 9. It's gonna be here soon. Under an hour, aircraft from here are gonna join aircraft from around the world in the largest aerial battle that mankind has ever seen. Mankind.
What are you doing?
That should hold a different meaning for you today, folks, because Steve's president.
Gobi, you okay?
Yeah, bro, what's up? Hey, man. You wanna go get some, like, pizza or something?
Are you good?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go get some pizza.
That's what you wanted. There you go. Oh no, conformity gate is fake. It was all a lie. We got juked. They went to the left and they went to the right. You know, they juked us. Oh man, I'm so sad. But thank you for telling me how wrong I was. I will be forever grateful for all of the names you called me and all of the mean things. Honestly, life-changing, eye-opening. But it's over. You think they left, right? You think that the doubters are gone. Hey guys, it's me, Gobi, and I'm doing just as fine as I was yesterday. Still having a grand old time, and I have one more running theory for you, which, but since I've said it in some of my other videos, towards the end, and there seems to be a miscommunication, I'm gonna say this like right now and make it super clear, but I still don't think there's gonna be another episode. I just don't think the story's over. I don't know what type of form that's going to take. Maybe they expected us to fill in the blanks, in which case I will make you guys a great story. Or maybe this next theory that the Duffers didn't drop the ball and there is a plan is correct. My point since video 1 has been that this original video 1, this is intent. This is intent. Whether or not they decided that they would do the work for that intent to pay off is another story. I'm not in their heads. I'm not a part of the cast or crew. I don't know. It's just as simple as there's intent here. Another thing I'd like to say before we get too far into it is a huge shout out and thank you to one of my Discord community members, Grumpamus Prime. They are the one who upgraded my mic recently, and they've been helping me with a lot of this, with translations and Morse code, because we're gonna get into also everything that happened yesterday. Before we do, I would like to tell you a story. When I was a kid, well, middle school or early high school, I can't pinpoint the exact year, I just remember what my room looked like at the time. I had to write a short story for school. That short story was about this woman who woke up in this strange place. The walls made of fleshy material, all of these different kind of pipes going into her skin, pumping blood and taking something from her, and as she woke up, she saw through the weird archway that this creature scurried by. She got so scared, her heart raced, and she felt weak, but she ripped all of the different pipes off of her body, and she got up and she ran into the hall, many of these beasts spotting her and beginning to take chase. She ran past room after room of other people caught in the same horrifying situation. Abduction, or that's what they would have called it in the early days of the 70s and 80s. Aliens, you could only presume. She ran, horrified, knowing she may not even be on this planet any longer. The stories that she heard on the news, the crazies in the bar, She knew what happened to her, and she was convinced, and she ran and she ran and she evaded all of them. And it was a very detailed story about this harrowing experience. And she got out of this door that spun open. She ran to the edge of this cliffside, looked over it, and saw the space below her. Somehow able to breathe in the outer clouds of a nebula. But perspective matters. Perspective is so important as we shift that perspective to that of watching her, a woman on the edge of the roof of a building, looking over a city that was strange to her as she could no longer remember it in her old age. Doctors grabbing her arms and pulling her back. It was a story about the horrors of dementia and Alzheimer's and the likes. I was affected by it directly growing up with seeing family members go through it, and I lost my dad when I was 21, and that was with dementia, and so it's always kind of had this place through my life. During COVID, I worked as a bit of a frontliner in senior care, specializing in dementia. You had to have certain kind of certifications and having this stuff in place to be able to go into the hospitals because family couldn't anymore. So what do you do when you have a patient who doesn't know anything? You need an advocate. And a lot of the healthcare advocacy was so swamped, a lot of senior care agencies then got kind of put into place. I have always had a fascination with the way that the mind kind of loses it over time. It is the deepest existential dread that we can have. Somebody in the comments pointed out that the upside down and many of the electrical currents and such mimic that of the brain. And if you haven't been around my channel for a while, I have a video on how Dungeons and Dragons changes you on a molecular level, which goes through how it affects the different parts of your brain, changing you not just as a player, but as a person. So I was already kind of down the rabbit hole that these are repeating characters. And I'll be real with you, what sold me on that is deciding that Lonnie is Billy, is Andy, is the Scranton Strangler. Not the literal Scranton Strangler, I'm talking about the girl who like strangles Holly by her necklace. Yo, we can agree that we hate her, right? Yeah, probably not really, but at the same time, I enjoy that little rabbit hole of hate. Still on the kind of idea that we have 12 characters who are playing through different parts and mindsets of their life, going through memories that don't always make sense. Sometimes they're a little lucid and know what's going on, but they can't let him know, as Max says, and other times they're struggling. They go with the flow, they conform. And I was thinking about the last season of Stranger Things and seeing some of the behind the scenes and everything and the way that people reacted. They were a mess, a sobbing mess. This was supposed to be some sort of horrible, horrible, emotional journey for them. Now take the idea that you have, say, 4 friends who know even if they get out of this, they're not long for this world. Knowing what's going on, but not being able to let somebody else know. Take that sad idea and rewatch the rooftop scene. The way Steve has to hold back his tears, the way they all struggle. Again, at this point, there are a lot of signs that point to this, but it's also mostly just my theory on what I think is going on. That brings me to the Burrows. Now, we've seen a lot of Dark Crystal references throughout Stranger Things, which we again covered in other videos. But it's being produced by the same people of the Dark Crystal, like modern. You know what I mean. It's called the Burrows. The Burrows are a piece of a larger picture. They are the tiny towns that make up a city. The Burrows is a story that takes place in a retirement community where an unlikely band of heroes gets together to take down a supernatural force that is trying to steal their time. I've mentioned a couple of times that I think Vecna is the villain, but Vecna also isn't. I think somebody is taking Dungeons and Dragons knowledge from one of the characters and using that to create these forces. So that's why I think it stays true to lore, but at the same time, it doesn't function properly. You go back through the episodes and you can start to find, even in previous seasons, the exits. And at this time, you can use that big fancy word that we call Joyce the Appa find some extra connections. But tell me why The Burrows is a spinoff that is supposed to tie in with Stranger Things, and it's supposed to come out this year, and we know virtually nothing about it. It's releasing this year, and we don't even have a trailer, no marketing, no nothing. Every episode of Stranger Things is now airing. But I don't think we're going to get the finale in Stranger Things. I mean, obviously there is hope that it comes through on January 12th with the documentary and all that jazz. But I think that things are going to be tied together exactly how they said they would be in the spinoff. Now, marketing-wise, why would you not want to be really pushing that if it's coming out this year? Unless, of course, it piggybacked directly off of another marketing campaign. And also, if you look up The Burrows, exact typing, the only thing that comes up is Stranger Things. Put in Burrow, a bunch of options come up, but the exact title... My greatest fear with this is that means the whole last episode might have been our goodbye. It was the end for those characters. But we may still see some of the other lost characters still fighting to get them out. It also kind of gave me the idea of what if, like, Claudia was Robin, was Max, was Holly. But a lot of this is just, I don't know if I'm going to get a connection. Because it's a theory that I think is supposed to be a hint, not something we definitively fully get. But whatever the connection of Eddie and Dustin is, I think it's a lot deeper than just kid who plays D&D that he likes. Even TikTok shared a clip where Eddie and Dustin, they have this emotional moment, and Eddie kind of is holding the side of Dustin's head saying, you know, never change. And a lot of the weird moments of emotion that don't quite add up to why they're so emotional, but they still hit, will kind of be made sense with this theory. I keep having people say that, like, oh, you're more creative than the Duffer Brothers on this front. I'm just a dungeon master who's used to world building. I like my worlds to make sense, and so I like my stories to make sense. I can walk the streets of my world and give you directions to different buildings and places to go. And when you give me something to chew on that has to do with Dungeons and Dragons lore, I'm gonna get really excited. I mean, I am a bit of weirdo. I have swords in my hair. This also kind of went with one of the theories that I've seen about the False Hydra. I am a huge fan of the False Hydra, like huge fan of the False Hydra. I have run a False Hydra campaign. I also have a False Hydra one-shot I really love. And the psychological horror around it brings me a lot of joy. And I think it's very fun to run for your players. And honestly, a False Hydra, the idea that it would cause you to see monsters in this other world is just so not its MO at all. It wants things to blend. It wants things to make sense. It pulls from memories to shift things. Characters disappear, which would make sense why we've had a lot of characters disappear through the season, and they don't say anything else about it. But it just didn't add up with the way that it runs. Unless, of course, the Burrows, especially because if you look up the Red Dragon online, it has a description of a False Hydra. And the idea that a False Hydra would be able to take from people's memories who may not be fully with us and create this illusion of this crazy world, that messes with me. If the Duffer Brothers don't do it, so help me God, if somebody funds it, I'll do it. I'll do it. I was literally just saying to my partner last night, like, why don't we make D&D like horror stuff, like shorts and mini series for YouTube? And then he looked at me and he goes, who's paying for it? A good laugh. We got a good laugh. But I genuinely don't think, no matter what the context, that this is over. I believe in Conformity Gate. Even if they're not giving us more stuff, this story was not a happily ever after. And if you want to believe that it was, you can check out here and be totally fine. But I'm also going to say something a little unhinged, a little wild, a little crazy, okay? If there is no Conformity Gate, I think Netflix might have put themselves in a position. It's just like massive litigation issues. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. But I feel like the following might be like an actual issue, you know. Let me explain why. Since the beginning, Netflix has been actively putting stuff out there that has to do with conformity gate. If you were only looking at this, that's one thing. But they were actively fucking with us, all of the channels working together. There was the thing on Jimmy Fallon, but in reality, they could have just been kind of mocking us because they don't have association with them off screen. But their official accounts do. Their merch does. So if you go down the list of all the different things with the merchandise, like the flashlight and He Lives, there is a bunch of stuff in the Hellfire module, which now I have to go back through again, but we'll circle back to that. The wrong merch that's just not quite right. It's all off. Netflix store even had an Instagram ad that had normal merch, but in the background, Hawkins had already fallen. Why would they do Art of Hawkins Fallen if we didn't even see that? Commercials. I'm sorry, okay? I'm gonna level with you real quick. Giving Nancy Wheeler a flamethrower and the amount of 3D work that would have had to go into making the Demogorgons for that scene alone, doing that for a credit card commercial, that much of like just financial recklessness for a credit card commercial, I don't know whether to laugh or to say that that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. But a lot of that, again, can still be read into. So then yesterday, they were posting all day across all accounts. They've been teasing it, harassing it very blatantly. I'm talking Netflix. I'm talking Stranger Things. I'm talking Netflix in other countries. Official accounts posting these teasing, antagonizing posts, not reading into it. I'm talking posting a door with the handle the same way and then it opening. Posts they've never posted anything like before. Their Reddit that had the beginning of the year, you're gonna be deceived and you'll like it. It was very blatantly obvious to anybody, even people who don't believe in this, that they were egging this on. They had multiple videos that used a sound from an account that was Stranger Things verse or something. I still follow them. And they were posting Morse code in French, and it had more and more information over there. And those were on videos like the I don't believe in coincidences videos, when they have the same sounds that they're using on their videos. So again, they're putting effort into egging this on. You've got an account that the name is the anagram behind. You've got the Stranger Things verse, you've got the Morse code. There's so much going on even on that. For about 30 minutes yesterday, you couldn't access Stranger Things season 5 other than the finale, which was put into season 2 episode 8. So like you didn't have season 2 episode 8. It would be season 2 episode 7 and then season 5 finale and then season 2 episode 9. And if you would go to season 5, it would just take you back to season 2. I even tried resetting the whole system and it was just stuck like that. I got a video of it in my Discord. I wish that I could edit these videos fancier to have that, but the things that they've been doing have been actively egging people on across all of their medias. So this is being done with intent. That intent might not be to ever give us anything, but like it's I'm cool. I'm good. I'm solid. This is fun for me, but there are people who are like not okay. So egging that on to a point where people are like mentally not good, this is going to be studied in psychology for a long time. And their responsibility in that does exist to an extent. So that is kind of what has me still going on. There's something. I think it's the Burrows. I really think it's going to be the Burrows. I don't think we're getting another episode of Stranger Things. I don't think we're ever getting another episode of Stranger Things. They had the wrong runtime, so maybe in the future they'll add more context, but I don't think we're gonna like get an episode 9. Also, there was an episode pattern of the like 8, 9, 8, 9, 8. I doubt they'd break the pattern all of a sudden if we're going with the idea of that all of this was intentional. I just think that things aren't adding up to a point where it's not oversights. And if they are oversights and they decided to run it as kind of harassment of people who might not be mentally well, again, I'm good. I'm having fun. I'm referring to the people who were like posting videos actually looking like the intro of mine and not being satire. That'd be not good. That'd be bad. Also just wanted to go back to add, if you are one of the people who you are not doing well over this, if you are really struggling, because I got some messages this morning across my platforms that were concerning. Please seek help. Please genuinely seek help. This is a show. Theory crafting happens. If this is something that is like deeply mentally disturbing you or putting you in a state of duress, like please seek help, because even if we did get a show, there's no need to be getting this upset in the meantime. And if we don't, I don't want to know how that goes for you. I hope it goes okay, but please genuinely reach out to someone. And although I feel like I shouldn't have to say this, I'm going to add, when I say reach out to someone, not me. I am not a mental health professional, and I don't know you well enough to help you through this. I'm talking friends, I'm talking family, I'm talking professionals, okay? So let's talk about that Strangerverse account, okay? Because they posted something else this morning, just this morning, more Morse code that said the last clue is in the shop. They posted a shop that it looks like you can check out on things. Somebody tried to buy, they said like there's 30 bottles of Stranger Things perfume. So one of my people in Discord tried to buy it. They're psycho. Stop it. You're not getting in trouble on my watch. But everything is formatted really weird. The website is called Green Yellow Monkey. It has things like Will's eyeglass case, Eleven's makeup. It's mostly nonsensical. At the bottom of the page, though, it says Eddie lives. So hence full circle back to, I feel like I need to look back through the Hellfire Club stuff. But I'm more confused than ever. I'm decently set on my grand scheme of a theory, but the nitty gritty and the details, I don't think I'm ever gonna get. And also I'm like actually tired at this point. Haven't slept tired, but like, I think I might need a day, half a day, to just wait and see what they post. Because scouring timestamps and everything else that I can do, but I don't know. You're gonna get more videos from me regardless, because I'm too far down this rabbit hole now, and apparently y'all look to me for updates. That's I'm gonna be so real with you folks. That's a choice. Because I'm that person who tells you I saw the cast of the Burrows posted yesterday, you know? And the president from Independence Day is in there. For those of you who don't know, sometimes I stream on Twitch. I'm going to be streaming the Cult of the Lamb new release, the Woolhaven one, when it comes out. Please come make little villagers. But when I get really stressed out during horror games, I just start reciting the speech from Independence Day by the president. So when I saw that, I was like, ha ha ha. And then I was like, clearly that's Steve. So that brings me full back to like the Hopper is Steve. I'm still on the fence about that one. I feel like if we're gonna do anybody, like, it's not that one, because like Steve is Ted, you know? All of this is nonsense. The theory makes sense, but the connections I'm making need so much more research than I can even do right now. Other than Lonnie as Billy as Andy. That one makes sense to me. But we cannot be consumed by our petty differences anymore. We must be united in our common interest. The interest to get our goddamn answers. But yeah, my dead set final theory without the mid stuff is that these are the same 12 people over and over again. Hawkins was never real, but they have to play through this reality to get out, to get what they need. D&D ties, or they're pulling from someone's brain for it. And I think they're all going to be these characters from the Burrows. Notably, Steve as the president from Independence Day. But as for now, we're still having little teases being put out with other information. Well, the main accounts are quiet as of 8 p.m. last night. And what was their last post? It was Joyce, a compilation of Joyce saying Joyce Core. They are literally clowning on us if this isn't something. Honestly, after all this, if there is nothing, I'm not going to cancel it because I didn't get my way. I'm not going to like unfollow these things because I didn't get my way. I'm probably just going to stop supporting this company because they have a really great opportunity on their hands to capitalize on this or to support their community, and they're choosing to clown on us. I get it if there is something and it ends up being a part of the immersion, but if it's not, whoever hired the 6'7" child to run these accounts needs to be fired. And the 6'7" child needs to be fired. Oh, fucking God. 9 upside down is 6. And they keep referencing 7. We don't think we just got capped on this fucking hard, that we just got like rickrolled in the form of a decade-long 6'7", do we? If this is all just a meme, please, God, somebody give me some form of budget to fix this. And we won't call it Stranger Things. We won't get ourselves in trouble. We'll just have one character who looks uncannily like Steve say Stranger Things have happened at some point. No one has to know except for you guys, okay? Oh, God. But as of presently, I believe. And at the very least, I am feeling very blessed to be a part of a fandom who is enjoying this and looking into things and having a genuinely good time, because most of the people here in the comments, most of you guys are super chill, super nice, welcome. I'm glad to have you here. Regardless, thank you guys for being here on this journey. And I will see you in the next one. Vander, do you have any advice for the people who are stressing right now? Stop being stressed, or he's never going to talk to you again.